Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Audio bandwidth for the Daily GizWiz is provided by Winamp. Subscribe to the Daily GizWiz and all your favorite podcasts with the ultimate media player. Download it for free at winamp.com. Video bandwidth for the Daily GizWiz is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
It's time for the Daily GizWiz with Mad's maddest writer, Dick DeBartolo. This is episode 1291 for Monday, February 21st, 2011, the Panasonic Link-to-Cell drop cam. And now, get ready for Dick. Let's see, it says here, if it's a brand new week, and you also have a brand new day, you've got a brand new Daily GizWiz.
It's a brand new week and a brand new day and a brand new Daily GizWiz. It's a brand new week and a brand new day and a brand new Daily GizWiz.
The worse your life.
A brand new week and a brand new day. The better we sound. It makes its own gravy. The worse your life. And a brand new day and a brand new day. The better we sound. The worse your life. The better we sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily GizWiz. I'm Tom Merritt, filling in for Leo Laporte, and of course, joining me because it couldn't, wouldn't, and shouldn't be a Daily GizWiz without him is Mad's maddest writer, Dick DeBartolo.
How you doing, Tom? Are you enjoying your time at TWiT alone, at the helm, as it were?
I do, actually. Yeah. I need a captain's hat. I should borrow Leo's.
Yeah, well, you can get a captain's fez. That's all he has. His fez with
a TWiT fez
on.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. One of my favorite things about filling in for Leo is that I get to sit in on all the great shows and kind of hang out with guys like you and Paul Thurrott and Steve Gibson, and it's a blast to hang out with Steve Gibson and Paul Thurrott.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. You were my third choice. Well, I wanted Alex to actually host a show. Then I wanted TWiT John to host it.
I'm so honored you moved me up to third.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the last time I filled in on GizWiz was back in August, and I know I was much farther down the list then. So.
Yeah, no, you are moving up. As people die off, you're moving up.
Well, as I kill them, that will move me up the ranks. So it's a brand new week, as the song says, and do we know
where Leo is, by the way? As we record this, we're recording this on a Saturday. We're recording this. We'll tell people it's a February 12th. Is he do we have any way of knowing? Oh, you're not at TWiT Cottage. That's right.
Well, the best way of knowing where Leo is Twitter, right? That's the way I've been keeping up with him. A couple days ago, he was in the southernmost city in South America, and that was called Puerto de Ushuaia. That was 2 days ago. He then shortly thereafter unlocked the "I'm on a boat" badge, and then the that's on Foursquare. And then the last word we have from him on Twitter is, a disappointed group learns that an Antarctica landing is impossible.
What?
From there, so you can see Steve Wozniak's on the cruise with them. It's a Mac cruise. So they weren't able to actually get onto land, it sounds like.
Was it rough seas or something? How can that be?
I don't, yeah, my guess would be some kind of weather thing.
Yeah, I know Jen, Leo's wife, sent me an email saying that I'm glad I'm not on this ship yet because Leo said it's really, really rough.
Oof. And if it's rough on a big old cruise ship like that,
yeah,
that's some rough weather. I mean, I've had rough weather like crossing the Irish Sea or heading out in the Great Barrier Reef when you're on one of those little catamaran type things or those little those little shuttle type boats, but on a big old cruise ship, you usually don't feel anything.
No. And when you do, It's very disconcerting.
I'm sure. I am sure it is. All right, what do you got in your magic bag of
Our
tricks?
gadget actually started out by Leo asking me. He said one of his listeners wanted to know about using his cell phone with handheld landline type receivers in their home. Did I have an answer? And I said, check out Panasonic. And the show was live, and I was just doing that. So in the intervening time, I did call Panasonic and asked what the latest was. And they have a really nifty unit. It's called the Panasonic Link-to-Cell system. Now, what I didn't know at the time was that you don't need a landline at all. This cordless system is really neat. If you have a landline, it's even better. So this is what you do. It's Bluetooth. So you hook your Bluetooth up, you sync it with your Bluetooth phone in an area of the home where you have some decent Bluetooth, we have decent cell phone signal, so that the phone will get your calls. Then using Bluetooth, so it has to be within 30 feet of one of these receivers, it will then send your cell phone call to the cordless handsets. You can pair two phones. So if you and your wife, you and your mate, whatever, have two different cell phones, you can assign distinctive ring, so that you know when the phone is ringing, whose cell phone it is ringing. If you indeed have a landline, you also plug the landline into a jack in the back, not jack in the box, but a jack in the back. And then when the phone rings, you can tell by the ring whether it's a landline or your cell phone or the other person's cell phone. If you want to use up your cell phone minutes, when you pick up the receiver, you either hit cell phone 1 or cell phone 2, so you can call out over your cell phone. Again, you're using a full-size handset, a full-size keypad. And also, there's another nice feature that a lot of Panasonic phone systems have, and this one does too, is you can program each handset not to ring during specific hours. So if you have a handset in the bedroom, you can program it not to ring from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., but the other handset in another part of the house can ring.
So your cell phone needs to be within Bluetooth range of the base unit,
of the
right?
base. That is correct.
But not the cordless hand.
The cordless it's DECT 6 extended. So it really depends on. I had a DECT 6 phone here. Actually, I do have one. So I have the DECT 6 in my office, but I can take the handset back into my apartment or out into the yard and get calls. So it's hundreds of feet, just depending on how much metal and how much stuff is in between. But DECT 6 extended range is right now the best cordless technology.
Well, see, a few people are saying in the chat room, and I have to admit, I was thinking this a little bit when you first said it. Was
okay,
like,
go ahead, yes.
Wouldn't I just want to use my cell phone, and I can walk around wirelessly instead of having to use a base unit hooked up to a cell phone? But then when you said you can have two cell phones on it, I felt like that sounded a little more useful. So instead of being like, oh, I didn't hear it ring, it was in the other room, and oh, Eileen got a call, but her cell phone, it would actually help you not lose your cell phone, right? You come in when you take your cell phone in, you could have your charger right there, plug it into charge right next to the base station.
But also, suppose your cell phone, as you go deeper into the house, there is no cell phone signal.
Right. That would be the other thing, is then it'll ring so you hear it, and you can get it, instead of getting one of those crappy microcells that you have to pay extra for and pay extra for service, and it uses your internet, you just put this where you actually have reception, and then you can talk anywhere around.
Absolutely, yeah. And dialing out, instead of dialing out over the little keypad, you're dialing out. And since it's Bluetooth, it copies your phone directory into itself so that your cell phone directory is in each handset. The basic unit it sells for about $79 on Amazon.
It's so much cheaper than a microcell. Eesh.
Yes, exactly. And that's 2 handsets, and they make bundled systems all the way up to 5 handsets. So if you want this capability all over your house, you can look for the 5 handset model. It's also, and it's interesting only because only about twice a year do I get emails going, does anybody make a unit, a cordless unit that can still be mounted to the wall? I don't want it on my desk. So this Panasonic unit, the Link-to-Cell system, also can be wall mounted.
You can mount anything to a wall if you really want to, but what you're saying, this one's meant to.
Yeah, I have one mounted to the wall. It's glued up there, and I have to put my head up against it to use it because the handset's permanent glued in. Otherwise, it would fall off. But yeah, it does work in a very bad kind of way.
As long as it works.
As long as it works. I'm just looking here in case I missed anything. 3-way conference calling, intercom feature. Voice activated caller ID, so it announces if the name is in your phone book, it announces who's calling over the handset. And it works on 2 AAA rechargeable batteries, which I like a lot. I hate it when the batteries start to go dead and you find out it's some cockamamie, the X239995 battery pack that they either want $57 for or 9 cents in Japan, but you're not sure if it's going to really fit.
Well, they make those crazy batteries sometimes because they want to sell you the accessories, which is why they're $57. But then they get tired of carrying them after a while because nobody's really ordering them after a few years. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. Now my battery's actually dead. I need to buy one. You don't even sell it anymore.
Yeah, no, I know. It's years and years ago, I was talking to, I was at a Duracell event, and I said, why don't you make one battery for all the different phones and camcorders? And the guy said, we were doing that, and we got 5 manufacturers aboard, and then the manufacturers didn't come aboard, told the manufacturers who were aboard, what are you, crazy? Do you know how much money you can make in batteries? And then suddenly, no one wanted to be aboard this idea of one battery for all devices.
Are you crazy? Do you know how much money there is in inconveniencing your customers?
Yes, exactly.
You can make millions.
Yeah. Fortunately, companies are sort of now all going toward micro USB as a way to charge multiple devices. I guess because there's not a ton of money in micro USB cables.
Well, what's funny about that is in the long term, standardization helps all the companies, but it helps all the companies. And so in the short term, it's better to be like, well, let's inconvenience people and make them buy our batteries. So it takes more long-term broad thinking of an entire industry to get them on board with stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's pretty difficult.
Pretty rare. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
All right.
There you go. There you go. Panasonic Link-to-Cell. Link-to-Cell.
With a number 2, right?
I'm not even sure. But, it's very funny because when I called the person, I said, please, why do people have to go in and ask for the KXT G6582T? And she said, they don't. They can just ask for the Link-to-Cell. And you are correct because you just went to their website and it is the number 2. And she assured me that you go into a store and say you want the Link-to-Cell system, they will know what you're talking about.
Guaranteed, or your money for asking that question back.
Exactly.
Also guaranteed is that we have a letter. right, time for reach into that letter bag and pull out a letter. Dick DeBartolo, who's writing us today?
Yes, and this is from, you familiar with a longtime fan of TWiT, Dr. Mom?
Oh, I am. Actually, we had Dr. Mom on Tech News today because she is a doctor. So she was on talking about liver cancer.
Oh, okay. Very good. Well, Dr. Mom writes, I'm just back from Vancouver, catching up on the show. As much as I hate those letters from your dear friend, what's worse to me are those telemarketers, especially those who call you by your first name like they're your best buddy. I finally figured out a way to get rid of them. After the last one was a woman who called and asked for my husband by his first name. I held the phone away from my mouth. My husband was sitting next to me, and I started shouting at the top of my lungs, "You so-and-so, you son of a blank. I told you what would happen if one of your tramp blank blank girlfriends ever called you at the house again. That's it. We're finished. Get out of here." I ranted on. I felt sorry for the lady on the phone who could hear me stuttering and stammering. She said, no, I'm just trying to sell you something. I'm not his girlfriend. My husband's face was purple from trying not to laugh. It took him about 10 seconds to figure out what was going on. And once I hung up, I laughed so hard I fell off my chair. I don't think this will work for you, since I doubt anyone would call up and ask for Fairway. Fairway's my dog, the other occupant of this house. But maybe you could pass this on to Leo or Jennifer or even Tom. I just made that part up so you would feel included.
Thank you.
Or Tom, so that they can use it. Love the show. Lil, hey, Dr. Mom.
I think you could still use this, right? Because they don't know you're Dick DeBartolo, and they don't know that it's only you and Fairway there.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I can't wait for an annoying telemarketer to call me. This is the first time I'm excited about a telemarketer calling me.
Is Dick there? Dick, I told you if any of your tramps ever... Fairway's sitting there looking at you.
Okay, what? Is this dinner? What is this?
What is up with that? So is this better than the little gadget that supposedly zaps the telemarketers, do you think? It's certainly more entertaining.
Oh, it's more, yeah, absolutely. I like it a lot. You know, but I think that do not call registry does work because I get very few telemarketer calls.
Yeah, well, what the do not call registry does is says only people whom you do business with can call you. So I still got calls even after the do not call registry from like my bank, DirecTV, people that actually,
okay,
and they were still trying to sell you stuff, but the volume was down. I tell you what really got rid of the telemarketers. What really worked for me?
None, not bathing, but how could they tell it over the phone?
No, yeah, not bathing didn't work. Tried that. They couldn't. Okay. Getting rid of the landline, so there wasn't a phone number to call.
Okay. You know what?
Haven't had it. Telemarketer calls.
Tell me in secret, is it against the law for telemarketers to use cell phones? Because that would turn out to be the ultimate annoyance, that you would be paying for cell phone minutes. But they tend not to do that.
Yeah, I don't think it's against the law. I think. You know what? That's a good question. Why they don't show up? I've always assumed it was because I didn't give that phone number out as often. In things where you sign up.
And there's no directory, right? There's no cell phone directory.
There's no white pages for it or anything. I think that's a big deal, because I do occasionally get one of those auto dial warranty. Your auto warranty can be renewed.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you don't have a car.
I don't have a car. Yeah. I said, well, it's got to be a really good price because I don't drive.
Yeah. So. All right. That's it for this episode of the Daily GizWiz.
Tomorrow, I understand the engineers at TWiT Cottage are actually abuzz about tomorrow, because when we were setting up, I said, does Tom remember that he has to do a gadget on Turn the Table Tuesday? And I said, oh, Tom, he's wired. He's got something really, really, really neat. They didn't say that.
A little sneak peek for you right there.
Oh, I think he did that last time.
That's part of the gadget.
Screwdriver again.
No, it's not the screwdriver again.
Oh, okay, good. No, I did
sure
remember what you did.
I know.
You
remembered better than I did. I had to go look it up.
I did. No, because for weeks later, I kept saying, I can't believe he did that piece of crap.
It's stuck in your memory, yeah. Still use that screwdriver. All right. Yes, tomorrow I will have in my hands a gadget.
In that case, I'll be here.
DAIL. Why? It's the daily